Hello, welcome to a new student preview of Graduate and Professional Studies at St. Mary's College. As the title suggests, my goal in the next 30 minutes is to provide you with some insights into the student experience at St. Mary's and hopefully make your transition a little easier. Even if you haven't finalized your decision yet, and SMC is one of several schools you're considering, this presentation should give you a more complete picture of St. Mary's and the value we provide beyond our highly regarded academic programs. This webinar was developed by the Office of Graduate and Professional Studies, or as we fondly refer to ourselves, GPS, and my name is Jane Joyce, and I'm responsible for recruitment and marketing. This presentation is designed to be an overview of facilities, resources, and services available to graduate and professional students, but it's not intended to replace the orientations that will be conducted directly by your individual programs of study prior to your start date. Here's a summary of the topics we'll cover: key resources and services, how to get around campus, mundane things like paying your bill or setting up email, and critical things like where can I buy food, or where can I relax for a few minutes when there's a break, or I need a little excitement. What's fun to do around here? And of course, we'll have time for questions at the end. Here's a list of facilities, services, and resources available on our campus. I'm also showing you a campus map that clearly labels important locations. You can download this from the SMC website. Some of these resources, like the business office, the financial aid office, or the library, you will interact with by phone, email, or in person on a regular basis throughout your time here at St. Mary's. Others, like the counseling center or public safety, perhaps only in certain situations that may come up along the way. The main thing is that you remember that these resources and services exist and know that you can access them when the need arises. If you're directionally challenged as I am, the best way to orient yourself to our campus is to identify where you are in relationship to the chapel, which is the first thing you see as you drive down St. Mary's Parkway onto the campus. Looking at the map here, here is the chapel lawn, and in the center of the map where my cursor is the chapel itself. So when you turn down the St. Mary's Parkway, which is this long drive here, you'll see the kiosk for the guard, the security kiosk right here. And if you look forward, straight ahead, you'll see the chapel lawn and the chapel. So if you turn right at the kiosk or left at the kiosk, you're on De La Salle Drive, which is a complete loop around the campus. So it's really pretty hard to get lost here, either turning right or left, as I say. And most of the classroom buildings are situated around the chapel lawn. The back of campus is the SOTA Activity Center, which is our conference center, and also McKeon Pavilion, which is where St. Mary's basketball team plays. Here's a few pictures for you to look at. Again, here's the chapel lawn, an actual picture of the chapel lawn, the chapel, and to the far right outside of this picture is Philippi Academic Hall, which is one of our newest campus classroom buildings. This is Philippi Academic Hall over here on the far left of my slide, and it's out of view here in this upper right-hand corner picture. But then next, just in view, is Garaventa, another classroom building, and next to that is Dante, another classroom building. Then you have the chapel, and then on the left out of view is Galileo Hall, and also Seychelles Hall, and then the Philippi Hall, not Philippi Academic Hall, but Philippi Hall, where our business office and the registrar are located. And also financial aid is over on this side of campus. as well. Your SMC photo ID card is your key to all services and events on campus. And your SMC email address is where all campus communications will be sent. As I'm sure you know, you can set it up so that it forwards on to your personal email address, if that is your preference. You'll need to have a parking permit to park on campus, which is free, yes, free, at least for now, from public safety. Just be sure to park in designated student parking areas and not in the lots for faculty and staff, which is a surefire way of getting on the wrong side of your professor. No, just kidding, but do park in designated student parking areas. Last but not least, Gale Express, which you will become very familiar with as you register for your classes, check on your grades, or pay your tuition. Here is all the contact information for the Student Accounts Department in the business office, which, as I mentioned, is located in Philippi Hall. They are there to help, so take advantage of the fact that you're attending a small school like St. Mary's, where you can still talk to someone in person to discuss a problem, a concern, or to ask a question. Here's a closer look at Gale Express. As I mentioned previously, this is a site where you'll log in to pay your tuition bill. You'll be notified via SMC email when your bill is available for viewing and can be paid. In addition to your tuition bill, Gale Express is also where you can search and register for classes, check your financial aid award, and view your grades. You can actually log into Gale Express as a guest and look at and search the course schedules for classes in your field when they're offered, etc. There are two types of student loans, unsubsidized direct and graduate plus. The direct loan maximum is $20,500 per academic year, or $138,500 lifetime. There is no maximum for the Grad Plus loan, which can be used to bridge the gap between the direct loan and the total cost of your attendance, including, if you wish, living expenses. You are not eligible for Grad Plus loans if you have adverse credit history, like a bankruptcy, late payer status, defaulting on a loan, or excessive credit card debt. You need to apply only once at the beginning of your program for the direct loan, but you must reapply every year for Grad Plus. And remember, if your program offers a Jan term, there is no regular disbursement of financial aid at that time. So you need to arrange for those funds to be added to the preceding fall term disbursement or the following spring term disbursement. And talk to the business office directly to make sure they understand your situation. Don't assume that financial aid and the business office talk to each other. You need to make that connection for the business office and let them know that you have a loan disbursement coming to pay your tuition. I can't guarantee that they'll waive the late fee, but at least you'll be able to register for classes in Jan term, and perhaps you can ask them if they would accommodate you by waiving the late fee. Everyone should complete the FAFSA. It stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This is in case your financial circumstances change mid-year. Even if you don't intend to take out a loan, some need-based scholarships will require you to complete a FAFSA. A new FAFSA must be submitted at the beginning of every academic year. At the beginning of every calendar year. But you are funded based on the courses taken during the academic year, which runs July 1st through June 30th. Submitting a FAFSA automatically initiates the loan process once you've been accepted to your program of study. Again, once you've been accepted. So you've got to get your application complete in order to be accepted, and then they'll start processing your FAFSA. The entire financial aid process can be handled via phone or email. Just want you to know that. And it's not to say you can't set up an appointment, but for your convenience, you can do this all by phone or email. All full-time graduate students should qualify for $20,500 per year unless you previously defaulted on a federal loan. So you should feel comfortable in assuming that you can get at least $20,500 per year towards your tuition. In terms of the types and sources of scholarships, here are a few. School-specific or program-specific. Here at St. Mary's, the School of Education, Graduate Business, the MFA in Creative Writing, the MA in Kinesiology, and the MFA in Dance all offer partial scholarships for incoming and, in some cases, current students. Details can be found on their program website. St. Mary's College offers assistantships or fellowships in the MFA in Creative Writing and the MA in Kinesiology programs. Details can be found on their program websites. Professional associations or organizations in your field, like, for example, the California Association of School Counselors, the National Association of School Psychologists, and the American Association of University Women are a few examples. Those who may fall into disadvantaged categories may be offered scholarships. For example, minorities, like the Hispanic Association of Schools and Colleges, they offer scholarships. There may be scholarships out there for single mothers or the disabled, veterans, women returning to the workforce. Google it. Search the web for scholarships through scholarship websites like FastWeb or Peterson's, or Student Scholarship Search, gradcu.com. When you research these scholarship opportunities, be sure to note the application deadlines and award timeframes. Remember, you can apply for as many scholarships as you qualify for, but being awarded one is not a given. So my advice is to make sure you've applied for a loan sufficient to cover your needs. Then if you're awarded a scholarship, you can decline the loan disbursement for a particular term. Once you finish your program of study, and it's time to start repaying your loan, and this usually occurs 6 months after graduation, there are now income-driven repayment plans designed for those in repayment experiencing partial economic hardship because their outstanding federal student loan debt is higher than their annual income or represent a significant portion of their annual income. However, you must apply and qualify for these repayment options, and you do so by uploading your tax information for the previous year. Again, income-based repayment means that your loan repayment, your monthly repayment, is based on your income, not on what you owe. And therefore, your payments are going to be much more affordable. Now, if you are on income-based repayment and you're working in public service, say a school, a hospital, the military, government, anything in the nonprofit sector should qualify as eligible employment if you work in that field for 10 years, and it doesn't have to be the same field. It can be in different fields, but all public service. You work in that for 10 years, then you are eligible for public service loan forgiveness at the end. Because remember, with income-based repayment, you're paying less than you would normally pay to have your loan paid off in 10 years. Therefore, there's going to be a balance at the end, and that balance is what would be forgiven if you're employed in public service. To get more information on financial aid, I recommend that you register for one of my monthly financial aid webinars. And there is one, in fact, next Tuesday, March 15th, over the lunch hour, just as this webinar has been or is. And you can find the registration link on the Graduate and Professional Studies calendar webpage. Feel free to register for that. And it's about the same length of time. Just as today's webinar, you will get a follow-up email with links to the websites that I've mentioned in this email, And the same goes for the financial aid webinar. You will get a follow-up email with all the websites that I have mentioned, that I will mention in that webinar. There is another option here. If you don't need to take out a loan, you have funds sufficient to cover your costs, but you'd like to, say, make it more manageable, there's a monthly payment plan option that you can set up through the St. Mary's Business Office. You can find the contract on the website, on the Business Office website, but remember, you must submit that contract before the start of each term. So for those of you that are looking to start in summer or fall, you would submit the contract to go on a monthly payment plan option prior to the start of those terms. Also new this year is the SALT Financial Literacy Program, and that's available to you throughout your time at St. Mary's and also as an alum. This service provided by the Financial Aid Office, and I want to stress that this is not something offered by every school, but it is something that the Financial Aid Office has purchased and is an online tool that offers help with managing your finances and loan repayment, as well as loan debt counseling and advocacy. There's even a job, internship, and scholarship search function that you can take advantage of once you've finished your program and are looking for a job. We have two primary dining options on campus. There's Oliver Hall and Cafe Louie. Oliver Hall offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner during the week, and brunch and dinner on weekends. The late night dining program offered nightly gives students a break from studying and a place to gather with friends and have a sandwich, grab a burger, or enjoy an ice cream. In the morning, Cafe Louie has fresh fruit selection of Starbucks coffees and a variety of fresh baked pastries. And for lunch, you can choose from a delicious assortment of to-go salads or sandwiches. You can download what we call Flex Dollars onto your student ID card, and you'll receive a 20% discount when you're purchasing food at either of these locations, and even some off-campus spots in Moraga. We are very excited about a new space that we have opened on campus, specifically serving our graduate and professional student population. Our new Graduate and Professional Student Resource Center is located conveniently between Oliver Hall and Cafe Louie and offers a comfortable lounge area, a study area, and a private technologically equipped conference room that comfortably seats 16 students for your group meetings or project collaboration or workshops. It is possible to reserve this conference space in advance, and graduate and professional students have priority for reservation. Nearly 3 years after its proposal, a new recreation center that gives St. Mary's College students a place to exercise and hang out opened its doors last spring. There's a beautiful pool, a spa, climbing wall, 3 indoor courts for basketball, soccer, and volleyball, a fitness center, and rooms for yoga, dance, and spinning classes. The new recreation center has plenty to offer for all of our college community. There's even a Jamba Juice located inside, offering fresh fruit smoothies, as well as an assortment of to-go salads or sandwiches. This is a list of additional campus resources available to our students. I'll comment on a few of them. One of the great things about our library, pictured on the bottom of this slide, is the level of assistance our librarians provide you. You can call them, email, chat, or text them, or meet them in person when you need help with a search strategy, or you need help with a topic for a research assignment, or with a selection of appropriate electronic resources and reference materials. The Writing Center, pictured up the upper right-hand corner, is a welcoming, friendly environment that is student-run and student-oriented. Their advising strategies have shown tangible results in terms of the quality of student writing, very important for graduate students. Their goal is to make writing accessible and manageable for all students. And they are located on the first floor of De La Salle Hall. And of course, all graduate and professional students are invited to utilize the services of our Career Center, which is located in Brother Urban Gregory Hall. For those who would like to get involved in a leadership opportunity on campus, we have the Graduate and Professional Student Advisory Council. The GPSAC provides input to campus leadership regarding the student experience here and how it can be improved. This organization also helps to build community across the various GPS programs because we select representatives from all of the graduate programs. Also, there's the Academic Honor Council, which reviews cases of alleged academic dishonesty and is another opportunity for GPS students to make a contribution to the campus. And here is a list representing what I call the icing on the cake when you attend SMC. Let me highlight a few of them. If you're inspired by images, by soft brush strokes or bold, bright colors, check out the St. Mary's College Museum of Art. The museum is located behind the chapel and across the street from the Soda Center in the back of campus. Our Legacy Garden, pictured in the lower right-hand corner of the slide, is a half-acre garden plot which grows pesticide-free food for the student dining hall. It's located behind one of our residence halls. The garden is maintained by student faculty volunteers. Consider volunteering. And we regularly have farmers markets where produce from the garden is sold at very reasonable prices. They even sell, sometimes in the spring, they sell tomato plants. I've gotten all my tomato plants, organic plants, from the farmers market and planted them in my own garden. We have our own observatory here too at St. Mary's. The Geisberger Observatory is located in the hills behind SMC's campus. It's a great place to get away from the commotion of campus life and be a little closer to the stars. If you take the Mission Road towards the townhouses, you'll pass one of the residence halls and you'll find a dirt path to the observatory. It's a nice hike. Walkways and hiking trails abound. The Lafayette-Moraga Regional Trail is an almost 8-mile linear park that parallels St. Mary's Road through Lafayette and Moraga. A portion of the trail lies directly across the road from St. Mary's. You may have seen it. If you walk about a quarter of a mile down, you'll find a little park, Moraga Commons, that includes places for a game of catch or tossing the frisbee. And there's also the Redwood Grove, located at the end of Gale Way on the very edge of SMC's campus. The Bertain Redwood Grove is surrounded by towering redwood trees and is an excellent place to study, to write, or even meditate. As a graduate and professional student, we know your desired outcome is clear: to successfully complete your program of study and attain that degree that will hopefully open new doors of opportunity in the future. And these are pictures of our actual graduates. It's a very happy day for students who have worked so hard, oftentimes holding down a job and going to school, and you know, having their families and friends there to watch them walk across the stage is a really exciting event. So if you have any questions now, feel free to type them in, and I'll attempt to answer them for the group that's on the phone today. Also, as I mentioned earlier, you'll be receiving a follow-up email from me providing an overview of what was covered. I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you found this session beneficial and feel just a little bit better prepared to take full advantage of all that St. Mary's has to offer you as a graduate or professional student. I sincerely mean it when I say we look forward to seeing you around campus very soon. And on this slide is my contact information as well as that of my colleagues in the Graduate and Professional Studies office. So let me see now if there are any questions that I can answer for the group. We'll pause here for just for a few minutes. If you type in your questions, that would be great. Then I can answer them for the entire group. That's how I normally handle it. Looks like Sarah, you might have a question. You mind typing it in? And you know, if you think of questions after we close, you're welcome to email them to me, and I'll respond to you personally. So feel free. Let's see. I do have a question. When is the orientation for the fall semester? Depends on your program, Amanda. I do not have that information for you know, every program, graduate business, graduate education. They all operate a little differently. So I can't speak to that, but if you contact your admissions counselor or your program assistant, they should be able to tell you that information. For CEBA, okay. Hi. When is the orientation for the fall semester? Sorry, for the professional MBA. As I say, contact your admissions counselor. I know there is one, so never fear. It's also, I also have a graduate and professional studies calendar that I'm working on for the new 2016-17 academic year, and so it will be posted there. It's not quite done yet, so in the short term, I would ask your admissions counselor or your program assistant that you're working with on your application. Is parking difficult when there are basketball games? Since our classes are in the evenings, parking is a challenge, but I wouldn't. It's a challenge in general, but not specifically when there are basketball games, because you know, usually people aren't coming to the basketball games until later. They're usually at 7 or 8 o'clock, and usually evening classes have already started at that point, so students would have already parked at that point. I thought this webinar was going to go over the graduate program for the CEBA department specifically. No, this was not. I'm sorry if that was a misunderstanding. This is an orientation. I don't actually call it orientation. I call it a preview of graduate and professional studies. So I'm sorry if that was confusing. Really, this goes out to all of our graduate programs. We have them in education, in business, in dance, writing, kinesiology, etc. So it can't get that specific. Apologize for that. Let's see. Okay, I think that's the last question. So again, I hope this was useful, short and sweet, to the point. You will all have orientations, I assure you, and if you don't know already when those will be, I'm sure that that information will be forthcoming, or you will be able to get that directly from the program. I want to thank you again, and have a great day. Bye now.